And then Dim Wil'm, what are we going to do? How does Gitanmaax commemorate and memorialize the Indian residential school experience? What is the context from which to mull it over? How many Gitxsan kids attended an Indian residential school? Between 1940 and 1980, an estimated 1,560 to 2,600 Gitxsan children as young as 5 years old were apprehended from 65 who wilnatahl and interned in an Indian residential school for up to 13 years. Why? Canada campaigned for 150 years, quote, to kill the Indian in the child, unquote, through their system of Indian residential schools administered by the United Church, Presbyterian Church, Anglican Church, and Roman Catholic churches. Under their watch, Canada and the churches intentionally disrupted essential Gitxsan inherency to erode Gitxsan essence, identity, to commit cultural genocide, to commit genocide. Why? Arrogant pioneer Canada and missionaries cast the Indigenous as savage, uncivilized, unhuman, and surmised the Indigenous did not have notions of property and summarily dismissed inherent rights and title, thus suspending treaty talks underlying the Royal Proclamation of 1763 and carried on with the Canada Project. Canada and the churches dutifully initiated a campaign to kill the Indian in the child and campaigned to remake Indigenous children into their image, to be absorbed into the Canadian politic, to disappear as tribes and no longer be a problem to the Canada Project. Institutes of Assimilation and Genocide. The Indian residential school system. The first church-run Indian residential school was opened in 1831. They operated 139 schools nationally for 150 years. The last IRS was closed in 1996. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada concluded that residential schools were, quote, a systematic government-sponsored attempt to destroy Aboriginal cultures and languages and to assimilate Aboriginal peoples so that they no longer existed as distinct peoples, unquote. The TRC characterized this intent as, quote, cultural genocide, unquote. In October 2022, Canada's Parliament unanimously recognized Canada's residential school system as genocide. Dim Wil'm, we hurt inside. Prognosis. Canada and the churches, through their IRS regime, initiated an attachment void between the Gitxsan children of IRS and the children's wilnatahl, triggering Dim Wil'm, we hurt inside. Unresolved collective trauma. Our response to unresolved collective trauma has many faces. Deep sadness, lunatic behavior, low self-esteem, addiction, mistrust, cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, mixed connective tissue disorder, lupus, death wish, anxiety, panic attacks, chronic fatigue, premature death. Unresolved collective trauma is transmitted to subsequent generations, now spanning 4 concurrent generations in Gitanmaax, in the Indigenous. Daxgyat, my heart keeps beating. Resilience. Of the estimated 1,560 to 2,600 Gitxsan children of Indian residential schools, all experienced the same toxic regime. At least 1/3 were unaffected, a credit to inherent daxgyat of the Gitxsan. Daxgyat is authority, strength, power, and confidence, inherited matrilineally from wilnatahl ancestors, and peculiar to each wilnatahl since Laoe, time immemorial, 700 generations before present. Our obligation is to manifest daxgyat for wellness, for prosperity, in perpetuity, to be an asset to our wilnatahl. Our obligation is to invoke silachnuk, alignment to the sui generis Gitxsan compass mindset. What is the metaphor for daxgyat? Wilnatahl, Sinhala, daxgyat, yukgetwe. And then Dim Wil'm. What are we going to do? How will Gitanmaax's band commemorate and memorialize Indian residential school survivors and Gitanmaax's Indian residential school experience?